Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel. Myself Rashmi, I'm your biology lecturer. So first I would like to welcome you all to our Sri Sai Angels PU College. So today I will be starting the chapter number 2, that is biological classification. So let us start the class. Yes, in the biological classification lesson, we will be mainly concentrating on some of the important concepts. I hope in your first lesson, you have understood some basic information regarding classification, because the classification word you have come across in the first lesson. Clear, right? So what is mean by classification? So classification is nothing but grouping of organisms. So in this lesson, we will be studying each group of the organism. So the first concept we are going to understand here is the two kingdom system. So in the two kingdom system, we are going to understand how the classification started in the earlier days. Then after that, we are also focusing on the five kingdom system introduced by Whitaker. So according to the five kingdom system, the organisms will be grouped under five categories. So each of the category here we are calling as kingdom. So according to five kingdom system of classification, the first kingdom is kingdom Monera. So what is going to be studied in this lesson about the Monera? So here we are collecting some information regarding the characteristic feature of Monera. That means habitat of the Monera and the kind of organisms comes under the kingdom Monera. So all this information we are collecting about the kingdom Monera here. Then after that, we are also focusing on the second kingdom, that is the kingdom Protista. So here we will be studying about the characteristic feature and examples of the Protista. That means how organisms are grouped under the Protista. So every information regarding this kingdom we are studying here. Then one more kingdom, the third one we are concentrating here is the kingdom Mycota. So here also same thing we will be studying, that is the characteristic feature of the Mycota, then examples of organisms belonging to this kingdom. So these informations we are studying mainly in the biological classification. And last but not the least, we are also going to study about some of the interesting organisms. Those are nothing but viruses, viroids, prions and lichens. So all these are the some important concepts to be covered in this lesson. Yes, now in this chapter, we are not just understanding what is the meaning of classification. Instead of that, we are spending more time to understand each category of organism to which the organisms are belonging to, and we will be studying about the fungi like mushroom, and also we will be studying bacteria and viruses. So by hearing these organism name, we will be getting scared because these organisms are pathogenic. They will be causes number of diseases. And also we will be focusing on the protozoans like Euglena, Paramecium, amoeba, and we will be also studying some of the phenomenon caused by this group of organisms. Then we will be also studying about the diseases caused by some of these group of organism. So here we are not going to study all the five kingdoms because it will be going to huge if it is studying under the same lesson. Instead of that, we will be focusing on the three main kingdoms here. One is the kingdom Monera, then another one is kingdom Protista, then kingdom Mycota. Then kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia, we have separate lesson. That means the third and fourth lesson we will be studying only about the kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. So let us go ahead with this concept. Yes, now classification of living organisms. Here you have to understand two things. One is why to classify and another one is how to classify. So let us understand the first question, why to classify? Is there any necessity to classify the living organism? Yes, there is a need to classify the living organisms because such a huge diversity of living organisms we have on earth. Clear? Like insects are there, birds, then wild animals, then different kinds of microorganisms, plants. So like this, in each of the organisms, what I told you now, we have diversity. Different kinds of plants, different kinds of insects, different kinds of wild animals. Clear? So as a human being, we all are dependent on one or the other organism. So we can't lead our life without dependent on any of the organism. So we depend on plant for constructing shelter, then for furniture, for the making of furniture we are dependent on plant, and for food we are dependent on plant, and for medicine we are dependent on plant and some of the microorganism. Clear? So we can't lead independent life, so we dependent on some other organism for each and everything. So for our betterment life, we need to classify living organism. Understood? So classification make the understanding about the living organism very easy, so that for better understanding about the living organism, we have to classify the living organism. Then let us solve one more question, how to classify. So classification of living organism into different groups based on certain set of characteristics. That means for classifying the organism, we need to understand the characteristic feature of that particular organism. So here you have to understand about the characteristics. What is mean by this characteristic? So characteristics is nothing but quality of an organism. Say for example, when you are describing about your any one of your friend, you will describe like he is very talkative, he is very good in studies, like that. Is it not? So those are all nothing but the quality of that person. So those are we are considering as a characteristic. Clear? So characteristics are nothing but the quality of individual. Here, while classification of living organism, we consider different characteristic features. You take the example of birds, fishes, and plants. So what is the character of bird? So if I tell you to define the character of bird, so you will list some of the qualities of that organism. Like the flight is one of the common feature of the bird. Clear? And it is having two legs. So like this, you will give some sets of characteristic feature, and its body will be covered with feather. So these are usually present in each of the bird. Clear, right? So flight is one of the most important characteristic feature of bird. Then if anybody asks you to give the characteristic feature of the fishes, what you will tell? So it is habitat to water, then it will be having fins. So fins are the locomotory organelle, so it swim. So these are the few qualities present in the organism like fish. Clear? So like this, if you take each and every organism, we can list some sets of characteristic features. So based on the characteristic feature, we can classify each and every living organisms. Clear, right? So for classification, a very important thing we have to understand about each and every living organism is characters. Understood, right? So how to classify means classification is done based on certain sets of characteristic features. Yes, now when the classification of living organisms started, because classification is not a new system introduced, so it is a old system. It has started from many years ago by the scientists. So there are number of scientists, so they have put their effort to classify the living organism. So when the scientists started observing the diversity of living organisms on the earth, they understood one thing, that it is impossible to study the living organisms without classification, because such a huge diversity we have on the earth. So that they started classifying, that means they started categorizing the living organisms based on certain characteristic features. Clear, right? So because as I told in the earlier slide, for classification we need to understand the characteristic feature of the organism. So without characteristic feature, it is impossible to classify the living organism. So you just take the best example. So you're all entered into first year. So based on certain criteria, we are going to bifurcate you into a particular section. So it may be based on the alphabetical order. So certain criteria are used to classify the students into different sections. So this kind of bifurcation will make us to understand the students well, and it will be easy to collect the information regarding any of the student. Clear. So let us take, we need information regarding the students. Their name starts from the alphabetical order C. So we can easily go to one section. There we can collect the information about that student. Suppose we have not bifurcated students based on the alphabetical order or some other characteristic or some other criteria. It is difficult to collect some kind of information. It is difficult to manage the students. So for the betterment to understand about the organism, to get the information about the living organism, there is a need to classify them. So that one of the scientists who started classification of living organism was Aristotle. So Aristotle was the first one started classifying living organism in a systematic way. So according to him, the plants are classified into three groups. He categorized, he placed a long plants under the tree, and some of the medium sized plants under shrubs, and small plants under herbs. So based on the length of plant, he classified the plants under three different groups: trees, shrubs and herbs. Then he also classified animals into two groups based on the presence or absence of red blood. Clear. So which organisms, which animals consist of red blood, they are placed under one group, and which does not consist of red blood, they are placed under another group. So these are the some criteria considered by Aristotle to classify plants and animals. So then also its system of classification was not satisfied, because he was considered only few characteristic features among plants and animals to classify. Clear. So you take the example here. So for classification of animals, he considered only presence or absence of red blood. He didn't consider the habitat of organism, and he didn't consider the presence or absence of organ system. So only based on one characteristic feature, it is impossible to classify the animals. Understood, right? So you just take the example of animal like a tiger and the giraffe. So they are wild animals, and their characteristic feature is somewhat different compared to the human being. So based on only the criteria of red blood, we can't place the human as well as the tiger and giraffe under one group. So if we are classifying, we have to understand each and every characteristic of the living organism. So that was not done by Aristotle, so that his system of classification was not standard. So next there were few more scientists came to classify the organisms with new other ideas. So let us move ahead. Yes, now two kingdom system of classification. So this system of classification was proposed by Linnaeus. So children, we have seen the classification done by Aristotle. He was not used any kingdom system to classify the organisms. So simply based on some of the morphological features, he categorized organisms. But Linnaeus was the first one introduced kingdom system to classify living organisms. What is mean by this kingdom? So kingdom is one of the category of taxonomic hierarchy. So you have seen, you have studied in the first chapter. So kingdom is the highest level of taxonomic hierarchy. So Linnaeus was introduced two kingdom to classify the living organism. So what are those kingdoms? So let us see, one of the kingdom introduced by him is kingdom Plantae. So this kingdom is uniquely meant for plants. Clear, right? So based on what he placed the plants under the kingdom Plantae. So he observed some of the features in the plant, like plants are non-motile and plants are able to synthesize their own food material. Understood? Because they are autotrophic, they are having chlorophyll pigment. Because of that, they are not dependent on other organisms like us. Clear? So based on this, the plants, whether it is a terrestrial plant or it is an aquatic plant, all kinds of plants are placed by Linnaeus under the kingdom Plantae. And one more kingdom introduced by him is kingdom Animalia. So this kingdom is meant for only animals. So what are the characters he was observed in the animals? So animals are having opposite characters compared to the Plantae. That means animals are motile. They can move from one place to another place and they can't synthesize their own food material like plants. And one more is they are habited to terrestrial and some are habited to aquatic. So like that. So based on these characters, he placed animals under the kingdom Animalia. Understood, right? So these are the two kingdoms introduced by Linnaeus. But this system of classification was not completely satisfied the classification of living organism, because there was many drawbacks observed in this system of classification. So let us see the drawbacks of two kingdom system of classification. Yes, now let us see the drawbacks or demerits of two kingdom system of classification. So in this system of classification, one of the demerit is there is no distinguish between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So we know prokaryotes are made out of prokaryotic cell and eukaryotes are made out of eukaryotic cell, but Linnaeus failed to identify the kind of cell present in the organism, so that the classification is done without considering the kind of cell present in the organism. Then one more this thing is drawback is he was not distinguished whether the organism is unicellular and multicellular. So what is mean by unicellular? So unicellular organisms are made out of only one cell. So the entire functioning of the organism is dependent on only one cell. Then multicellular organisms are made out of number of cells. So when you are considering the unicellular organism, so there, because it is depends on the one cell, the entire process will be going to change compared to the multicellular. So it didn't consider whether the organism is unicellular or multicellular. Then one more drawback is there is no distinguish between photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organism. So whether the organism is able to prepare its own food material or not, this distinguish is not done by Linnaeus during the time of classification. Clear? So because of this, many of the organisms didn't belong to any of the two kingdoms, like bacteria, fungi, viruses. So they are neither belonging to Plantae kingdom or they are not belonging to the Animalia kingdom. Clear, right? So there is no proper place for the bacteria, fungi and viruses. So because of all this, the two kingdom system of classification was failed.